Alright guys, on today's video we're going to be doing the clutch on the Civic Si here, 8th gen. I'm still waiting on the clutch to come in because the reason I need one is my throwout bearing actually went out. The clutch actually lasted 170,000 OEM, but I went ahead and started pulling off these the shifter cables here. A couple bolts there you got to undo to get that linkage back, and then obviously take the cables off and then unplug a bunch of sensors. You got one right down there, you got another one right there you got to unplug, and then that one right there. Unplug those three sensors too, and then I went ahead and got the master and slave out. There's plenty of other videos on that, but pretty much master was back there with the line. I just took that off. Those two bolts hold the slave on. I just pulled the whole thing out. I'm going to replace it with a K-Tune master and slave kit with the braided line, so that should be a pretty decent upgrade. Other than that, I went ahead and started to pop the axles out. So I don't have any axles in. I still got to get the half shaft out of there. But pretty much got the axles out. Now I got to disconnect the control arms down here. And then I got to take the power steering rack off of the brackets too. That way I can drop the subframe without the power steering falling. Other than that, we're about to get started. Also, you do have one bolt on the front motor mount you got to pop out. I got the boom buzz right now, but pop that out. And then there's another cross bolt there for the rear mount that you got to take out. And then that'll allow the subframe to drop off. I got a jack here. Mine has a flat face. You want to get something flat, if not a block. That way it distributes evenly onto the oil pan there. But yeah, we're going to get the second mount here undone, and we're going to continue. Alright guys, quick update. Just got the half shaft out. I could have probably taken it out with the passenger side axle at the same time, but I just broke it into two pieces. You got some like 14 mils that hold it on, two on the bottom, one up top. You got these 12 mils that hold on this cover. There's another one back there, and then it all just comes out all together. I put the screws in it that way I don't lose it. Next thing I did, get your lower control arm here. There is a 17 there in that hole. There's a bolt there. Two 17 mil nuts. I undid the end links and just realized I don't have to. But getting closer to dropping the subframe now. Alright guys, we're ready to drop the subframe. So there's a bracket here. Right there. It's got a 17 mil there. There's a 14 that you undo that lets you pivot the bracket. That way you can take that one off the steering rack. And then there's another one on this side that holds on the steering rack. You want to pivot those brackets away. I don't have ratchet straps, but I bungee corded up the tie rods up there to kind of hold the steering rack a little bit better. That way it doesn't slouch down too much when I drop the frame. There's some little channel bolts right there. I believe those are 17s. There's one on each side there. And undo those bolts. Then we got one, 2, 3, 4 bolts to undo. And I'm going to put a jack under it first. I don't have a tripod, but I'm going to set up the camera, show you guys how I'm going to do it with two jacks, and lower down the subframe. Let's get it. Alright, subframe is out. I'm just going to spray this thing down and clean it off just because I had a pretty bad oil leak and made everything nasty. Plus from all the axles I've blown, there's just axle grease everywhere. Going to clean that off. That was my whole goal for today, which is my second day doing it. Probably just going to drop the trans, honestly. I still got plenty of daylight. That steering rack actually came down a little more than I wanted to, but it's alright. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up, but I guess we won't find out till the end. Either way, I'm going to get this trans going.